The TDEC method of revising is to show you that there is a particular structure you want to keep in your writing. So for the purposes of explaining this method, I'm going to use a real life situation. So your teenage son comes in and says, I feel like I'm ready to get my driver's license. As a parent, that I am not convinced simply with this statement that he should get his license. So my son's claim is that he is ready to get his driver's license. That is your thesis. What is your claim? You will need, this is your promise to the reader. So my student says that he is ready to drive, and I am not exactly convinced yet. So the first thing my son has to do is convince me. So this is the logic. This is where he presents facts, text evidence, or events. And in this case, he says, I am responsible. So being responsible is the reason he thinks he should get his driver's license. But simply telling me he's responsible is really not enough reason for me to say, oh, okay, you can definitely start driving now. What he has to show me is give me some elaboration, some facts, something that will tell me I can trust the fact that he is indeed responsible to get behind the wheel of a car and drive. So we need to get examples. So he gives me some examples that he does chores without being told. So a couple things you might say, I do my chores without being asked. Second, I maintain my grades at school without you having to check up on me. And finally, I pass my driver's test. These are three things that show that I am responsible, which shows that I am ready to get my driver's license. The last part is the commentary. This is where you pull at the emotional heartstrings. Words like can, should, would, your opinion, your observations, your insight. This is all part of commentary. So you can say, well, I can get a job to pay for my gas. Okay. I can run errands for you, or I can drive myself to practice. All of these things support the fact that he is responsible, which he's shown here, and indeed he may be ready to get his driver's license. Now we're going to take a look at what this looks like in a literary text. This is a student example for the book talk, and you have a copy of this in Schoology. So the first thing we have to do is identify our thesis statement or topic sentence. This is our claim. So the first sentence says, the book Yellow Star, a true story by Jennifer Roy, peers into the eyes of Sylvia, a 4.5-year-old girl who is forced to grow up faster than a lightning bolt while experiencing the harsh realities of the Holocaust. This entire first sentence is the thesis, and it will be in pink. The two things that this writer is promising to show us is that this little girl had to grow up fast and that the realities of the Holocaust were harsh. So these are the two things this writer is having to prove. The next sentence reads, in 1939, 270,000 Jews in Lodz, Poland are forced into a ghetto, a holding place for Jews before being transferred to a concentration camp. Now, in this sentence, the first detail or fact is presented, and this is text evidence. And we always want to put our text evidence in green. So I'm going to select my green highlighter. And that detail is the fact that she's in a ghetto. And this is what supports the information that it is a harsh reality. Everything else in this sentence is background information, context, or placement. In 1939, in Poland, they are forced. And she continues to define what a ghetto is, and before they're being transported to a concentration camp. You look at writing in DECs, detail, elaboration, and commentary. And the first DEC begins right here, where we begin with the information. And I know that it ends, for the purposes of this demonstration, it ends right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and just mark this area right there. Continuing to read on, the next sentence says, these isolated neighborhoods are overcrowded and present awful living conditions. This is also some background information, so this will be highlighted in blue. But you're saying, well, hold on a second. Isn't the word unpleasant or overcrowded or isolated, aren't those words of opinion? Well, yes and no. It is an opinion, but it is a universal truth or a universal opinion held by everyone that the ghetto was indeed isolated neighborhoods and they were overcrowded and they did present awful living conditions. So because this is a universal agreement, we are going to count that as elaboration, background information, and placement. The next sentence reads, bright yellow stars are plastered onto the clothes of every Jew in the ghetto, except the Nazis, who are tall, wear boots, guns, and carry cigarettes. This sentence is also elaboration, so we're going to highlight this in blue. The next sentence reads, unlike many Holocaust stories, the main character isn't killed, but her experiences are still unbearably frightening. Now, this is the first time we are hearing opinion by the writer, and opinions are going to be highlighted in orange. For the purposes of this demonstration, we're just going to have to assume that this red is definitely orange. So a couple things I want you to notice right off the bat. So what I want you to notice is this deck from here to here is balanced. And you're thinking, well, there's only one green. Well, this first paragraph is an informational paragraph. So really, the majority of this first paragraph should be blue. You are giving the reader background information about your book. You're placing it to letting us know when it was, when it occurred, and you're giving us some context. This is all from the text. Your green, your detail, is what you are providing to support your thesis statement, which again here is showing up that she grew up fast and she lived in a harsh reality. Your deck ends with commentary. This shows me that yes, the reader apparently has read many Holocaust books, because she says unlike many Holocaust stories, this character isn't killed, and then she recognizes that her experiences are still unbearably frightening. So depending on the purpose of your paragraph, you need to look at, do I have too much detail or is there too much elaboration? Okay, good luck, and I look forward to reading your revisions.